Hi, this is Chris Hoy. Thank you for joining me on Create with Chris. Today is a quick tutorial on how to paint this adorable monkey. Simple color application with a few added touches will make this charming monkey a quick and easy project that anyone can paint. So whether you are a beginner or painting for fun, join me for this fun afternoon project. I love that all the pieces are separate. It just makes it so easy to paint them individually without getting paint into another unwanted area. Make sure that you do keep them right side up. It just becomes very confusing if some of them are flipped over. They just don't fit right. Using a 3/4 inch oval wash and sable brown, it's just a real nice medium tone brown. And I'm pulling the brush towards the edges, and what that does, that eliminates any paint from running over the edges and dripping down the side. Just keeps the project a lot cleaner and no mess to clean up when you're finished. I do have a little bit of moisture in my brush, and that helps the paint to slide on easily. If you're having trouble moving the paint around, you don't have enough water in your brush. And you can see I'm continuing to pull to that outer edge. After I get the paint applied on, I go back with the brush with not much paint on it just to smooth it out. Looking for no brush strokes, and that's another reason I love this oval wash. It's super smooth and it puts a really nice even coverage on. Now I did go ahead and do 2 coats, kind of skipped it for this video so it wouldn't be so long, but you can tell, and not all of this background will show. However, I went ahead and gave it 2 coats just to make sure. Now his arms, tail, and these little pieces are a separate color. This is fawn. I'm still using that 3/4 inch oval wash and pulling the paint toward the outer edges. I put a paper towel down because otherwise I get paint on my tabletop and then it kind of transfers to other pieces. So this just makes a little less cleanup mess and eliminates any issues with paint getting on someplace it's not supposed to. So all these little things will make your painting life a little bit easier, and in the long run a lot less messy, so that you end up with a much better project. Again, I put 2 coats on this. For the face, the hands, and the feet, I used Natural Buff. It's a very pretty color. It almost has a peach to it. For the mouth, I'm just using soft black. Because this is such a tiny skinny piece, I dropped down to my number 5 Radical Round. It's one of my custom brushes, has a beautiful point in it, has a nice little fat belly so you can load a lot of paint. And I painted the eyes soft black as well. Added 2 little Snow White comma strokes and dip dots in the eyes. And I'll show you how I did that just a little bit later on. To create that V, I just penciled in a V right above his eyes, and it keeps the eyes in place. It makes it a lot easier to know exactly where to create that. Don't worry about it being perfect. This is a fun little monkey. As long as they're just kind of rounded, it's just like a little C shape. And I'm using my 1/2 inch angle. I love the toe on that. Just gives me a nice sharp little edge. Makes it real easy to cover that well. First coat is very messy. I'm not too concerned about it. Second coat's going to make it look fantastic. Here I'm going to use that comma stroke again on the nostrils. I just load my stylus, dip, dot, and drag it around. Every time you'll have a perfect comma stroke. It's a fantastic way to create nice little clean strokes. Epic Script Liner and Lamp Black for the eyebrows, or you can use a micron pen as another way to add those very easily. To do the cheeks, I've loaded my Spectacular stencil with Bright Salmon. Wipe most of it out on the paper towel. Because I want the cheeks to look the same, I'm going to create both of them at the same time. Instead of just doing one and then jumping to the other side and doing the other, if you hop back and forth between the two, they're going to build up at the same intensity. It's a great way to add cheeks, and just keep going until you're happy with the coverage. I did add a little bit of that blush inside the ears as well. To add the design on the tummy, I'm using one of the stencils from our Stencilette collection. It's just a really fun set of little designs. I use it for so many things. I've loaded my stencil brush, wipe back, this is fawn, wipe back the color until there's very little left on the brush. Just doing a very soft swirl. It's going to give a beautiful dry brush effect. I have a very light touch. 1 or 2 light coats is always going to be so much better than one heavy coverage. And you're just going to get that soft, I love how that looks, just a soft design. And I think that looks fantastic. I decided the area around his tummy looked a little bit plain, so I'm just going in with a little bit of that fawn. And I thought I'd add a couple little lines. Wasn't real sure right here. Was going to put another line, and then I decided maybe dots would be better. Using the handle end of my brush and just dotting a string of little dots. Gets smaller each time, and I think that's just perfect. Wanted to add just a little more design on the plain parts, and I'm using my Uniball white pen. It's a gel pen. It glides on just perfectly. My pen was a little bit on the dry side, so I had to get a new one too. So if your pen is dragging, it might just be that it's old. I've used mine a lot. I had trouble getting that on there. So I had to grab a new one and get that design on there. But it's amazing what this little bit of design will add to break up all that solidness and create a really beautiful, interesting effect. I did add just a little bit more on the tips of his ears. I think that brightens it up as well. It's kind of a dark with all the brown on it, so it just needs that little bit of movement on it to give him a little bit of sparkle and brightness. And I think that's pretty much all that I did to create this monkey. The next thing we're going to do is a little bit of speed gluing, and I'm using Quick Grip adhesive. I love it. Once it goes on, it will never come off. We put 2 pieces of wood together with that and tried to pull them apart. Ended up splitting the wood before it would come apart. So, you know, the Quick Grip is a great, especially if you're going to put it anywhere where the sun's going to lay on it. You know, hot glue sometimes softens, pieces fall off. And this is what it says, Quick Grip. So it will grab on. You have a little bit of time to move it around and get it in place. So I hope you had fun watching this and give it a try. Everything I use will be listed below in the links. I want to thank you for joining me, and please, if you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe to my channel. That will help me out. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again, and I look forward to our next painting adventure together.